Edith Head was undoubtedly Hollywood's most famous costume designer. She won an unprecedented 8 Academy Awards, worked on 1,131 films in a career that spanned 6 decades, and when she died, the world thought she would be lost forever. Now, Susan Claassen, in a critically acclaimed tour de force performance, brings the diva of design back to life in this behind-the-scenes feast of great movie lore and delicious stories.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Edith Head.
Did you know you were coming to see me? Oh, I apologize for being late, but you see, I was on a telephone call. I'm working on this film, Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. There was a crisis on the set. And then I remembered you were waiting. Oh, I think I hung up mid-word. Fortunately, I have a very understanding director, the brilliant, what is his name? Carl Reiner. Thank you. You see, Mr. Reiner wanted me because of a design I did for Barbara Stanwyck 40 years ago. I guess I've come full circle when I revived the exact dress I designed for Barbara in Double Indemnity and then use it in Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid on Steve Martin. I don't usually care for comedians, but in that blonde wig, he looks very funny in it. Oh, I think that Steve is the only person in Hollywood who works harder than I do. When I was at Paramount, I worked 6 days a week, 15 hours a day for 44 years. That adds up to, I was never very good at math. Let's just say I learned to do everything. And if you don't do everything in Hollywood, you are not Hollywood. People say to me, Edith, what makes you different from other designers? I tell them I'm not different. I'm just the best. I hate modesty, don't you? Anyone who says a costume designer can do whatever they please is an idiot. No, I am at the mercy of the material that is given to me. What I do isn't just costume design, no. It's camouflage. It's magic. If Cinderella had had Edith Head, she would not have needed a fairy godmother. I often did the personal wardrobes of my stars. I did Mary Martin and Sophia, the Italian girl with the big Sophia Loren. I also dressed Betty Davis. Oh, when I first met Betty, I'd already been working 20 years in the business. Betty came in like a small whirlwind. There was no polite chit-chat. She was a busy woman. I was a busy woman. And we both knew it was a nice day. I considered myself to be the dress doctor, my first book. And this new medium of television allowed me to dispense my fashion prescriptions to millions of women, guinea pigs in search of glamour. Did I say millions? 8.5 million to be exact. Oh, lady, less accessories, please. Or, to tell you the truth, your hips are too big. Well, Geritol or the other sponsors would request that I be nicer to the ladies. I tried. Sometimes I just had to be blunt. I mean, apparently intelligent and sensitive women who would never dream of putting together whipped cream and onions thought nothing about wearing pink chiffon flowers with tweed. If someone is looking for honest advice, well, they better be prepared for some honest criticism. The only way to be objective... Let me show you a little trick. May I have that? Please, Stuart, here. Thank you. You take a brown paper bag. You open the bag. And you cut holes in the bag. No, you put the bag on your head. When you are looking in the mirror, you are not looking at yourself. You're looking at some woman you don't know very well, and you can be quite cruel. I can look in that mirror and go, ooh, Edie, your stomach, it's too large, your shoulders are too narrow, and your skirt, it is too short. This may sound silly to you, but it really does work. If we could get people to be more objective about the way they looked, we would have fewer badly dressed people in the world. Yes, so why don't you take this back? This is from one of my favorite Elizabeth Taylor films. Do you know which one? Place in the Sun. Right, you are. Oh, in that picture, I had a perfect setup. A beautiful star with a flawless teenage figure playing a girl of wealth. Now, her debut gown. It had to be white, and it had to be important. Dior's new look was showing very slender waists, very full skirts. Now, you must understand that although we shot the film in 1949, it wasn't released until
51.
I couldn't predict the subtle things that would make a costume look dated. So when you watch the film, you'll notice the clothes really had very few details. I relied on these white flowers, little white violets, to accent the bodice and make the bust appear fuller. And then I sprinkled them on this wide skirt. Latrice, there must be yards and yards of tulle in this dress. The combination of the full bust and wide skirt accentuated Elizabeth's 19-inch waist, making it appear even smaller than it was. Now, I knew that the only time something goes out of fashion is if the public doesn't buy it. Well, the public bought this one. Some clothing manufacturers copied it. What do they say in the trade? They knocked it up, and it was mass produced. What is that?
Knocked it off.
Knocked it off. I enjoy gossip from time to time, but I never repeat it. You want more than that, read the tabloids. Everyone talks in Hollywood. One day you're friends, suddenly tomorrow you're lovers. Well, it was no different in the 30s, the 40s, or the 50s, except people kept their mouths shut. And you watch out. I will make a voodoo doll out of you, and boy, do I have pins. This was for The Sting. Have you seen the film? It's very interesting because it was the first time in the history of the Academy Awards that a Best Costume Design Oscar went to a film with no female star. I'm very proud of it. It's funny because most people associate me with dressing glamorous women, but in truth, I would rather work with men. Just imagine dressing or undressing the world's two most handsome men, Paul Newman and Robert Redford, and then getting this, never having dressed Marilyn Monroe, and never designing the uniforms for the Chicago Cubbies. And being alone. I think it was Betty Davis who said, "Old age ain't for sissies." I don't know if I will be remembered as Hollywood's most endearing costume designer, but oh, I sure as hell have been her most enduring.